something before anyone can hear any of us.
Oh,
yeah. So now we have that microphone. We can also use that microphone, but then you need to really speak into it.
Okay.
Yeah. This one should be relatively okay, if a bit echoey.
Okay.
But yeah, now we need to do our introduction again. So.
Apollo is here. Hi. Just one person so far. Let's hope that some more people come in. Where do you see this? 2 watching. Roland is here and with audio now.
Ha.
This is also weird because they're... Kijk, ik ga gewoon mee op schoot zitten.
Oh, dat gaat op schoot. Yeah.
There. Ja,
So,
precies.
hello internet.
Let's watch over there. Hi.
This is not rocket science, in case you didn't know yet. This is Priscilla.
Hi.
She deals with the outside world.
I do.
I design stuff and make things go beep. That's pretty much the division of labor in this tiny family business. This evening we're going to try and entertain everybody a bit during these trying corona times.
Harder praten.
Harder praten?
Hard,
you have to be English.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We are trying to entertain everybody a bit by discussing our plans, our actions, our ways of dealing with this
what you've
weird
been
crisis.
Working on.
Yes.
Yeah. And letting you hear something of that, of course, most important.
Show some stuff.
Show and tell and listen.
You'll be mostly behind all the comments and things.
I'm gonna be
I'll be
the chat
in
a
the
moment.
screen being bloody. I'm supposedly very good at being bloody.
Yes, bouncing up and down all the
Bouncing
time.
up and down, going bloody. So, yes. How's everybody doing? Who's in here?
There's just 3 people here.
3 people here. So, first of all, massive apologies. We don't actually have any Phoenix in the house even right now. The Phoenix is also in quarantine somewhere else at Laudy's place. Laudy is another engineer, also part of TiNRS, working on the calibration sequence right now, so we can self-calibrate the whole device onto chips. We do have this. Let's see, can I do the weatherman thing? So we have the final front that we've just sent to the factory, currently being manufactured. This should be the final production hardware as far as we are concerned. What's happening?
No,
Blippings are happening. We are currently trying to calibrate the whole thing and validate all the designs, and then giving it some months of rest so we can really be certain that all the hardware is exactly the way we want it. We are quite confident that it is by now, but now that we're calibrating all these things, we're finding things that may be a bit more optimal if we change one resistor here or one resistor there. But it's getting very, very close to final, and all the moving parts have pretty much stopped moving. Even during Corona, we managed to score all the parts we needed from the Chinese factory. So there's a steady stream of boxes.
Some a bit late.
Some a bit late.
A bit delayed.
But not as late as we are. So
no.
We're all everything is still within the time frame. We have like 7 gigantic cartons full of really nice durable potentiometers from Polyshine, extra long life, rated for intense amounts of knob twiddling. We've gotten our new chunky lever switches. These are, well, as far as I'm concerned, sort of the holy grail of really nice chunky. We should do synthesizer ASMR on the And because of this, the magic thing called minimum order quantities, we now upgraded all the switches on the Phoenix to tri-state switches, because ordering tri and double throw switches was too expensive. So we just added more functionality to make up for the fact that we're cheapskates. Hopefully you can do more interesting things with that once the Phoenix arrives at your doorstep. We've gotten a lot of other tiny things and experiments going since last we showed the thing to the public. A lot of these things have taken the shape of like standalone experimental modules. Thing focusing. So as you can see, this is just a slice of the Phoenix. And on the real Phoenix, it's over here, the tiny phaser. So just take that bit of the board and slice it onto your Eurorack module to test it. And you can also see another detail that we finally got right. We found a factory in India that can do these really nice color anodized rings. So all the inputs and outputs on the entire jack matrix are now color coded with, well, with these. Yeah.
Are you showing the little rings too?
I'm showing the little rings on the thing.
On the thing.
Okay. But there's no blue there, so we also have these massive amounts of blue rings for the last one. So with 3 different colors of rings, and of course, if you have all these signals color coded, then we also got new patch cables where the previous ones were all white. There's a white patch cable. There. Now we also have 3 different colors. We have yellow ones, grey ones, and blue ones, but they're all still neatly packed away, so I can't mess them up before we go out with them. Progress. Lots of tiny details. Do we show the cable things as well?
No. We were talking about the master mixer before.
Yes.
Can you explain that?
Just, indeed, one of the biggest areas of contention in the design was the output stage. It's the original output stage in Phoenix 2, while very nice, was a bit unconventional, so it confused the hell out of most people. It confused the hell out of us even, so while building it we decided to redesign it a bit, and then we redesigned it again, and then the parts we wanted turned out to be incredibly expensive, so we redesigned it again, and then those parts turned out to be crap, so we redesigned it again, and now we hope to have found a middle ground. And this here is the final prototype of what slots be. Can I do it to the right scale? Almost. Go back there. This fits behind there. This board has now gotten the final answer, I think, to a fully analog master output mixer. This is difficult when I just orienting the image. Yeah, somewhere there. One of the main challenges with this thing is that it has voltage control panning, which is tricky to do in the best of days. We could have done it digitally and just get a CV value in, read it with a microcontroller, and then write out some value to be interpreted by an analog VCA. But with a whole bunch of analog tweaking, we came up with a way to do this all analog. So you can do audio rate panning changes, which should be nicely freaky and in style with the whole design philosophy of the Phoenix.
Tony says he loves our modules. Thank you.
Yay! We love his videos.
Yay!
That's Tony Decaro.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Priscilla is now writing some links, or what are you doing?
No, just
okay. And yeah, in case people don't know, we're about 30 seconds behind or something. 10 seconds. 10 seconds behind.
Yeah.
With our replies, Priscilla is
we're
watching.
Ahead.
Oh, we're ahead. Yes.
We're ahead. You're behind over there on the internet.
But yeah, so that's the master mixer. We also have a whole bunch of production things that we're still optimizing. We still have the power board that's well, it's currently a big Meanwell brick, and some 5-volt regulators. This as far as power supplies goes, this is quite standard, but it's also extremely expensive to do it this way. So we're still investigating one way to make the power supply better and cheaper at the same time. But if that fails, we'll just go with this one because this one is ready to go. And I have another one of the boards. This is inside the Phoenix. Well, no shit, it's labeled Phoenix. This is the main.
Has little. No, you can see Laurie for a little bit.
Oh yeah,
little bit
there's a
Loudy.
tiny picture of Loudy over there.
Yeah.
Hello Loudy. There's me.
Half a Marcel.
And half a Marcel and some other credits.
Other peeps.
Other very important peeps. But this board has been a major headache because this is the big connection system that connects all the modules up here to jacks down there. So there are lots of connection points from various places on the circuit board.
Can't read.
No.
That way. Yeah.
Yeah. There's.
But there's. We tend to hide stuff on the inside.
Yeah, this is hidden on the inside of the inside. Nobody will ever see this unless they're repairing it.
Yeah. You shouldn't be seeing this.
If you're seeing this, you're too deep into it. But we are staring at this for days at a time, so I try and make this look nice, so I am happier with how it looks. But this specific thing now needs to be assembled, and this is one of those big things that most factories really sort of start looking nervous about, because this is about the maximum width of any of the assembly machines that they have. And all these parts are not mechanically placeable, so somebody will have to put them in by hand, which is the same for us. So I don't know, one of those things we've been busy with is starting to learn enough machining to make custom jigs to break things off at the right sizes. So now we're getting into the building machines to build machines to build machines stage, which is a nice place to be, I guess. But at some point I would like it to be over. I really want to kick off the whole manufacturer and the run starts, and the house will be filled with dozens of Fenixes. How do you call this?
Yeah, Fenixes, yeah. Phoenixes.
What is a group of Phoenixes?
A flock.
A gaggle? A flock?
No, a flock.
A flock of Phoenixes?
A flock of Phoenixes.
Yeah. A flock of Phoenixes. That's yeah, in case people don't know, we don't have an actual factory building or something. We're just doing this from home. So making 100 of these things means that our entire house is filled with pallets and boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes, and burn-in racks and prototyping parts. And by the time we go into real production for the Phoenix, I don't know where we're going to walk.
In between.
In between. Just swim through all the parts all day.
We'll figure it out.
We'll get there.
Yeah. A fumble of Phoenixes.
A fumble of Phoenixes. Ooh, yes.
A fumble, a flock. Yes. And making sound machines is suggesting we at some point should make like a transparent module, maybe an acrylic front plate so you can see what's happening inside.
Ooh.
That would be nice to have like a rack that has full acrylic transparent at the front.
Pietje and Blauw wanted to do that with his modular box for us.
Okay.
The biggest problem we had so far is that if you go to the same thickness of front panel that we have right now, which is, well, this is 2 millimeters. That's a 2 millimeter front panel. If you do that in acrylic, it starts bending, and if you do it in glass, you can probably shatter it too easily. So I would really like to make something like this, maybe Lexan or something. If anyone has any suggestions on doing this without using soft acrylic and keeping it 2 millimeter thick.
Yeah, it sounds more like you would use acrylic, and then it would be like a showcase thing, like an exposition almost, not something that's meant for always.
Not for always, no, but
just so you can show what's on the inside. That might be nice.
Yes.
Somebody's telling me that only Richard Devine will have to know what the plural Phoenix is. Everybody else is going to have to be okay with one.
I'm not sure if this is public information, but
what?
Is he on the waiting list?
I have no idea.
I think he isn't yet.
I don't know.
I know he knows about it. He sent me a message at some point.
I know there are also a lot of artists are either under a company name or just not their artist name on this list. So I know of a few artists, and I know that there are probably more on there that I just don't know what their connection is. Also, I do not know this list of 120 people by heart.
Yeah, there's. If he's not on there, he's not going to get to know the plural.
Yeah.
But yeah, so to continue with all this making machines to make machines, to match the theme of the quote that was on there's also this tiny thing. This is one of the things that also happened to be part of one of the circuit board orders that I did. This is a industrial controller to control two motors to do something. So I can automate part of the assembly process of the Phoenix. Like there's mechanical jigs that you have to slot something down, slides in, and the screw drives in, and then with a bunch of these we can actually just put the thing in the right place, press the button, and one operation, always perfect. So we're trying to move into automated assembly for many things that we can make a jig for. So yeah, but that's probably it about the Phoenix. One of the next streams we'll have to show the real thing.
Yeah, when we have it back from Laurie.
Yeah.
We can show the real thing and also play some sounds with it.
Yes.
You can make some sounds.
That's the reason why it's there.
Yes. But so there's another thing that we've been working on that sort of happened to come together.
Let's
maybe a little bit more faster because everybody's inside. So it's a Corona module in more ways than one.
Yeah. Let's get it here. A separate one somewhere.
There.
Yeah, there's one. I'll first show the whole thing. Here! Ha! Had it prepared.
Wow! Ta 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 ta!
Yay!
The circular thing.
The circular thing. As you can see, it's circular. It features a certain circular virus.
It's in the artwork, but also because it was already a circular thing. And then Corona happened? Is that the order? Or?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It was a circular thing and then Corona happened. It's a double drum, so there was already the pun going in there that it has to be a drum circle. And then drums are circular anyway. So the circular thing was obvious on many fronts, and then Corona happened.
Following the rectangular thing, now we have a circular thing.
Yes.
Which is also a limited run, an even more limited run than the rectangular thing, but we'll get to that later.
Side here.
So you just explain what is this?
So first of all, here's the real thing. It's not just an image. We actually have them. This is a early prototype, which still has a different backside, not without the Corona thing. So you can see the Corona came later. It is based on the Befaco kick-all, for any of you that know it.
The backside.
Yeah, this is the Ruigwoord backside.
Okay.
Ruigwoord, highly recommend.
Shout out to Ruigwoord.
Yay, Ruigwoord! Ruigwoord is a tiny village close to Amsterdam. It's sort of Christiania of Netherlands, the last remaining hippie village. They have excellent parties there. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, not at the moment.
Yeah, after Corona they'll have excellent parties again. But this is a double drum. It's based on the Befaco kick-all. Befaco was nice enough to share the schematics of this thing online. And Olivier, who may also be in the chat. Not mutable Olivier, but a different Olivier. People have been asking me that. But Olivier was trying to learn Eagle, or is still trying to learn Eagle, or has learned Eagle to design PCBs, circuit boards. So as practice, he started transcribing that schematic back into an editable file. And by the time he got that done, it was sort of in limbo for a while because we didn't really know what we should do with it. But then I was building a modular case for friends to practice synthesis with. And also a guy from Ruigwoord, that's why the Ruigwoord logo is there. But I found out that they didn't have any drums to lend out to him or borrow out to him. Is it lend or borrow?
I don't know. To lend to him.
We didn't have any drums to lend to him. So I remembered we had the schematic and we went off. But he didn't need just a bass drum. So we extended it a bit so it could also do things like hi-hats and toms and snares and generally be a versatile one-shot percussive device. It's not what I would personally have designed if we went all the way from scratch, but it turned out to be a lot of fun anyway, so we decided to make a tiny run to celebrate Corona, or at least commemorate, remember Corona.
Yeah, well, we're still in the middle of it. So
we're still in the middle of it.
is not necessary just yet.
No, but
sort of acknowledging
it's an important
this period
event.
Of life.
People are stuck at home in the studios making things. We are stuck at home making things. We've already sent out a few to friends and family to keep them inside happy and healthy, and we've made 10 extra that we're going to throw into the world.
You're going to sell?
Yeah,
yes.
We're going to be selling them. Any suggestion where, how?
Yes, email me. So I put
Okay.
That should be like under the video somewhere, under the stream somewhere, my email address if you want one. They are
400 plus taxes and shipping.
Taxes and shipping.
And that's euros. 400 euros plus taxes and shipping.
Yeah, and we have 10, and we will have them finished probably next week.
Yeah, well, this one's finished now.
But let's listen to some of these.
Yeah, let's see if that
drums.
works. So I'm going to switch audio now. This is all a big first for us. I don't even need to switch audio. It's still on. Just this. Can anyone on the channel confirm that there's stuff happening?
Only 10-second delay.
Thank you.
Sound is happening.
I have a microphone so I can talk over this. Does this work as well? You just asked me to describe it in 4 words. Double cross modulated drum. So, yeah, this was all just.
That was all the drums.
Well, this is the drums for now. This is all the sounds you were hearing were coming from a single rectangular thing, and this single rectangular thing was being sequenced by a Westlicht performer, one of our.
You said rectangular thing.
Circular thing. Ah, oh, I'm so sorry. No, I'm just confused by geometry.
Okay.
It's a square circular thing.
That is confusing, yeah.
Ah,
It is a cube
Is-
holding a circle.
it's a cube holding a sphere. Then I don't know. Yeah, geometric discussions are for later, for after the stream. We also have a Discord channel these days. We'll post a link in the description later.
Okay.
So if people want to hang out with us during these quiet, self-isolating times, we have been geeking out with a bunch of other synthesizer manufacturers and synthesizer DIYers and synthesizer enthusiasts, or even completely synthesizer unrelated people. But it seems that there's a bunch of things coming up with Thomas Hopman from Tomatech was in there, and he's been working on getting Faust, a dedicated music programming language or sound programming language. He's been working to get that onto a new chip, and making sound machines is making music or making sound machines. Making sound machines always, yeah. Has been playing with that programming language to do some polyphonic synthesizers, which has driven me into maybe also make a tiny Faust controllable drum unit. Well, at first to also sort of enrich this same dude's rack that's now learning to modular synthesizer, but also so I can learn how to program Faust with it. But beside that, we're still on the circular thing. So all the things you were hearing earlier are just this unit being sequenced by the Westlicht performer. So they're just a bunch of gates going into here. One of the things I was doing, the second one has a second drum, has one extra feature on top of what Befaco has. It has a noise level. It's visible at all. So there's the noise knob, and that noise is it's all the way on the bottom right. That noise knob crossfades from the oscillator core it has, which can be triangle or pulse, into white noise or specific 808 hi-hat noise. And you can either just dial it in how much you want, or you can control it with CV input on the side. So you can make all these evolving sounds. Another thing that's different from the Kickle is that it has positive and negative pitch bend for the pitch envelope. So while a kick drum always goes choo from high to low, and Kickle also does this can also go from low to high, ooey, ooey, which is more African percussion type of pitch envelopes.
One of the sounds in here really sounds like a skin. Do I have to? Okay. One of the sounds in this thing really sounds like a skin. It has that like tiny bit of probably reverb going on that makes it sound like you've actually hit a djembe. Giving a much more natural, or at least full sound.
So that's definitely a side effect of having these positive and negative modulations. And in the center, there's these cross modulation knobs, and they feed the output of each drum into the pitch of the other drum. So you can have really weird FM type setups. And on the backside, there's always, at some of our modules, there's surprises hidden. There's a whole bunch of jumpers, color coded in this case for which oscillator they belong to. And the white is for the white noise selection. With these jumpers, you can select things like the type of FM, if you want exponential or linear FM, and the polarity of the cross modulation for each voice. So you can have only positive modulation, so the pitch only goes up, or you can have negative modulation, so the pitch only goes down. We made you choose on the back side because it's sort of a personal preference which one you actually want. It's not something that you often touch once you've decided you want either positive or negative, so therefore no switch on the front, just switch on the back.
There's a request here, can we hear two circular things? Do you
Yes, but can we have more requests? Because
No.
as in, what do they have to do? Is yeah.
Wait 10 seconds for that.
Yeah, while we wait 10 seconds, there are some more tiny tweaks compared to the Kickle that have to do with having these modulation options. Like, there's a hard sync for the oscillators on the back. For when you trigger, it always starts the waveform at the same point. So if you want to make one of those lively drums that has this always has the same slope to it, you need to be sure that the oscillator always starts at the same point, so you get the same type of drum every time. So this is one of those things that are almost trivial in the digital world because, well, reset the program, it starts from 0. But in the analog world, you may need to do some more work to get it to be a bit tighter. So as with a lot of these things, we try to get the best from analog and digital, and in this case, the having this perfect synchronizing makes things really tight, but we still have all the analog drift and noise from the rest of the device, so we get a lot of the liveliness from that back, while still getting a bunch of the accuracy that we're used to from the digital world. Two, yeah. Okay, let's see. You can have the voice for now.
Oh, the second one needs to be plugged in.
Yep.
Wasn't? Oh, okay. Because those are the last two that are fully done that are in the house right now. Stein?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Because we already sent some, and we had a little bike trip outside in the sunshine this afternoon to deliver modules and some Easter eggs to friends. And the rest still need to be soldered.
Well, partially soldered.
Yeah.
What shall I do with this? So what we are hearing now, I'm trying to play a melody from Tuesday on one half of a CircularThing, and the other two drums are still the same as the previous one, and I'm slowly building up. I'm going to be adding the fourth half of the CircularThing to add even more drums. So I'm slowly building into something interesting. Oh, and I added a tiny bit of delay on the voice.
is making you listen to two circular things being driven by a Tuesday.
Yes, everything you hear is CircularThing right now. So I have 4 channels going on. Let's do them one by one. I have one channel for the heads. That's this one. And then I have the kick drum. Then I have this one. This is not triggered very often. This has quite a bit of cross modulation with melody going on, so it's always slightly different. Let's trigger this one more often. And then there's the melody line. The 4 channels, all 4 CircularThings, which may be not the entirely conventional way of doing it, but it makes a more full-fledged demo without any other sound-making devices in the setup.
So it's based on double the schedule of the Befaco schematic of the Befaco kick-all. And Befaco is also having a look at it at the moment and will probably be coming out with kits to make this yourself in the future. We really like working with Befaco on this. We, they're nice people. They also share a lot of their stuff online. They live in Barcelona, although at the moment everybody's living inside, so I don't know how much it matters where you are. But it's nice to work with them and also to see their love and enthusiasm for making modular and sharing it.
Yay! But there's a whole bunch of more things besides CircularThing. So yeah, it's available now. Send Priscilla an email. Yeah, if you send an order, we'll solder one and it goes out of the door. Shipping still works in the Netherlands, as far as I'm aware, while it lasts. The corona is just going quite okay here. I don't think they're going to be doing additional lockdowns. Things are stable-ish as far as I know. But yeah, so we are still shipping. We can still walk to the postman and give him a box with stuff. But there's been other things that we've been working on or working with. We are a tiny company. Wait, I'll switch back to the other audio now. As people know, we are a tiny company, and we had an intern for the first time last October. I think he started. What?
Overstuur, you want to talk about?
Yeah, I want to talk about the Overstuur. Yes, because a lot of people are following our GitHub repository. Pretty much everything we do that we can make open source is open source. Quite often before we actually decide to release anything. So there's a bunch of people that have been asking me about what the hell the Overstuur is. And the Overstuur is a project one of our first intern worked on. I have it back there. Here, and it also means I get to swap the image here and there. So this one, as you can see, is still in prototype stage because it's not entirely done yet. We still have to finish a few odd edge cases in the circuitry. This was a research project mostly to figure out why distortion sounds nice, and not just in the sense that, oh my god, I like a 303 or a guitar way more when the distortion is turned on, but in the sense of now that I have 20 distortion pedals in front of me, why does this one sound nice and why doesn't that one sound nice? So really pinpointing the exact features in any waveform or in any spectrum or any phase shift that are pleasing, at least to me and potentially to other people as well. So we went to one of my favorite websites, assetvoice.com. They have a shootout with all the different distortion pedals as applied to the same 303 baseline. So you can compare them all in a very controlled setup. And out of that list, we selected a bunch of different topologies that were, we selected a bunch of different distortions that are of sufficiently different categories that they are worth comparing. And that they also had to make us happy. As in, if you turn it on and it doesn't give you a big grin, it's not the right distortion. So we made a list of 5 distortions, 5 different types, and well, we put 5 of them side by side. Wait, can I point at them? Yes. So there's the acid distortion, which is based on an MXR Plus yellow distortion pedal. There is the clip, which is a hard clipper. Fuzz is based on a fuzz phase, I think. This is based on a Big Muff Pi, and this one is an adaptation of the Phoenix wavefolder. So they all distort the sound in different ways, and we put them all in one box, so you could just turn them off and on one by one, and put them through the same test bench. One specific extra that this whole thing has everywhere is this delta. It's hard to see here, but each module has a delta output in the middle, which is pretty much the output minus the input. There and there and there. So you can really see what that specific distortion has actually changed about the sound. So you compare the input and the output, you get the delta, and then you can start analyzing what and why has changed while you turn the knobs. One of the plans we have with this one, this will never hit production as far as we're concerned.
In its current form.
Definitely not in its current form,
No.
because there's a whole bunch of things that we cannot even source. And the potentiometers are all these really weird analog values that we, again, minimum order quantities. We'd have to order at least 2,000 of them to make 100 modules, and we use 1 per module. That means we have 1,900 potentiometers in the closet, and we have to pay for them anyway. So it's just that they're unusable for anything else but this. So in this form it's never going to happen, but that doesn't mean that our research findings are not going to end up in something distortion-y. There's a whole bunch of experiments that are left to be done with micro envelopes and inserting bleps and blitz and really tiny spikes in the audio exactly where you want them, so you can sort of build up distortion without actually distorting the signal to begin with, which means you can get into a mix and match your favorite distortion features into a sound, which is something I've wanted to try for quite a while now. So this happily abusing the fact that we had an intern to do part of this research for me. His research period has sadly ended, so we're now polishing this design a bit, and then this thing is wrapped up, and it has ended up in the open source repository. So anyone that wants to build anything here, wants to build any like these, be our guest, orders on boards, and don't burn your fingers, please. But the actual principle will be something that after the Phoenix we'll definitely visit and see if we can make something nice with it.
Okay.
Anything to add there?
No. It's for us. It's
getting close to the end.
Ongoing project, which is going to be put back on the shelf for the moment.
Yeah. Well, of course, I'm going to put the knobs on this,
yeah.
But
we'll come back off the shelf at some point,
yeah.
and end up somehow in a new design. About the focal pack.
Yes, the focal pack. We have been putting it out there already with some regularity. Priscilla has recorded.
Yeah.
Priscilla has spoken, sung, proclaimed, vocalized a specific set of feelings. You better explain the exact rationale behind it. Can you come over here again?
Yeah, I don't want to be on camera.
You don't want to be on camera? Wait, first overlay off again.
Just give me the microphone. I can be the...
They can already hear you.
Okay, it's still on. So the idea behind it is has to do with Boom Festival, which some of you may know is a large psytrance festival in Portugal, which unfortunately this year is also not happening because of Corona, but they moved it to next year. And I wanted to somehow vocalize part of the experience there, and I wanted to capture some of the emotion and some of the happiness and exuberance that is in the people, but also in the music that you hear there a lot. And because I'm, around this studio, it's a very studio approach of making songs by giving vocal samples. Whereas what I used to do a long time ago is you do improvisations with, people that have live instruments.
Guitars, drums.
This works very, very differently. So I spent like maybe 6 months of trying out things that would be interesting as sounds for that people can then fuck with and either keep it in such a way that you recognize what I did, or just stretch it out and cut it up and make it do things that I won't ever recognize myself out of again. That's all good. That's all fine. We've done live performances where sometimes my voice goes through the modular system and I just hear my voice and I just hear the words that I'm saying, and sometimes you make my voice drive something that's going on in the system, and then I have
this wall of noise,
and then I have no idea what's me or what the system is anymore.
But
that is also interesting.
Yes.
So it comes from wanting to express positive emotions and wanting to give a sort of an audio vocabulary for other people to build that into a song. And I do think the human voice, and especially lyrics and words, but even just little snippets of voice and sound, can really heighten a song by giving it a human aspect. So
it is on our Bandcamp. Let's see, can I actually do a display capture with this device?
Apollo is saying we have telemetry was my favorite bit, and that comes from when we were watching the first watching the first touchdown, was it?
From the Rosetta.
Oh, the Rosetta, that one. Yeah, clicking
the
stone telemetry. And then telemetry coming back, and I was, because I'm a bit of a academic, so I was thinking, what are, from science, what are the happiest words in there? And it's not Eureka, although that's a very good one. It's more, we have telemetry that has such, an enormous amount of happiness inside these few words. So Tony's saying that he has me in the bid box. Yay!
Ooh, yay!
I fit in a bid box.
So
amazing.
But yeah, so it is on Bandcamp. Most importantly, I was just sharing the screen with the link. It's on thisisnotrocketscience.bandcamp.com.
Can you say some of the sounds?
I can also let people hear some of the sounds, of course. There's
the line in is not to the computer, is it?
No. Oh, that's entirely the wrong speaker. That's the microphone.
Ga je hem over de mic doen?
So there's...
No. So if you start with the first one, booms. How are you doing?
What do you mean? What the hell am I doing? It's playing the in order from the Bandcamp.
So on a Bandcamp, it starts with these are just examples. So the big file has a link below that.
There's like 170 different WAV files in the big zip file. So
yeah.
these are only a few from the big zip.
took, and I think we did some processing on that as well, on the examples that you hear there.
Not a whole lot.
They're
I
just-
did some
they're
sequencing
just
on it.
cut together.
Yeah.
Sort of, yeah. So the first one is the booms, which obviously it's meant for Boom Festival, but that to me is also a very interesting vocal thing. This is a very short vocalization that also means a word, that also means a concept, and you can go from like a high pitched where it's almost just a note, boom, to a very low pitched where it's almost entirely bass, boom. And I wanted to record and explore, these vocalizations of these words. A, E, U, and a bit of hum. Because Psytrance has a lot of triplets
Yes.
in it, so we recorded a bunch of vocalized triplets, A, E, U, and Hamanas. I believe. Yeah.
Lots of rhythmically applied mini vocals.
And then some quotes. I quoted some things from Factfulness because although I love all these trance, hippie, loving, fantastic atmosphere, the things that are often said over these tracks are flaky and annoy me just a little bit. So I was looking for good quotes that do convey this positive feelings, but without betraying,
Actual
basic
science.
physics or stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yes.
instead of the usual spiritual techno babble.
Yeah,
So,
actual babble. So I've recorded a bunch of that and a few things from Alice in Wonderland, which is of course, the big, the whole book might have been just somebody tripping balls, or it might have been a children's story, or maybe it's both, who knows. So there's always a lot of references to that. I think actually a lot of the quotes from Alice got kicked out again. So the first selection of doing this is coming up with what do you want to vocalize, what do you want to record, then finding ways of expressing that, then it gets cut down again to what you actually want to record, then we recorded that, and then I think a bunch was cut from that.
Yeah,
Again
you end up with 20% of what you intended.
Yeah, what you start with.
Yeah, but as usual. This is, schrijven is grappen in Dutch.
Yes,
Writing
yes.
is deleting.
Yes. So yeah, that's also with this. So it's a micro singer-songwriter thing. I really like doing this. So I'm also going to continue doing this, but it's a very, very slow process. I hope there might be maybe another voice pack in like 6 months or so.
We're almost out of time though.
Yep.
One thing we wanted to ask you people, well, we like doing this, so we would we'd be doing this maybe once every week. But of course, we have no clue what everybody wants us to tell them. We are always building stuff. We're always thinking of new algorithms for whatever. We can also do lectures on signal processing topics if anyone wants to learn something specific. Then we can prepare actual nice graphics to demonstrate some stuff on the videos. We'll probably be stuck inside for some more months if things continue the way they are. So let us know what we can do. We can broadcast and we can make circuit boards and ship them out.
Huh? Are we gonna make circuit boards by the
Well, we're making circular things. And we're also making other things. There's let's see if I can, like, careful observers of the GitHub repository may have seen this one enter the picture. Is it without the reflection? This is open source, open hardware replacement of a Novation Launchpad. So you can remote control your Westlicht performer with it. It will have some extra LEDs and knobs. They're all the nice cherry mechanical keyboard clickiness. There's still one bug remaining before this gets its own official announcement somewhere. the performer is bombarding it with messages so fast that sometimes it skips an LED, and that's of course unacceptable entirely. So yeah, we'll be making more boards. If any of you have interesting suggestions on what we should be recording or explaining, or maybe people want to watch me lay out a board, or maybe people want to watch me solder some of these things.
Patrick or Dorothy also wants, I think that one, the Westlicht.
Yay!
Yeah, with all the nice clickety keys. Did
Yes.
you do the clickety?
Clickety, 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 clickety.
Here's the little cherry clickety things. The keys make a good sound. Yes, it's very... So there's this weird moment where you and Thomas of NerdSec.
Yeah. XOR Electronics.
XOR Electronics, sorry.
From the NerdSec.
We were in a cafe and there was a performance during Amsterdam.
Bart Wolf was performing with Allard, I think.
Yeah, during Amsterdam Dance Festival.
Dance event.
And so it's in a cafe, it's really loud everywhere, and there are these guys holding something really tiny to their ears, and then switching hands and holding other tiny things to their ears, and they were going through a row of these types
we got factory samples of a new kind of mechanical switch, because I'm not sure, this is of course just like modular, there's also this world of mechanical keyboard enthusiasts that always build their own keyboards and their own custom gel keycaps, or have special sound dampening rings inside. There's some proper freaking going on in there. But a Dutch company has now has released a mechanical keyboard with analog key travel. So each key, you know exactly how deep you're pressing it, how fast you're pressing it. Which of course is ideal for musical applications, because then you can have a velocity sensitive key grid. And not just velocity sensitive, but also pressure sensitive, and do all kinds of crazy things with it. But this company, Voting.io, I think, Voting makes them. They are now developing a new magnet-based variant of this switch, and they just sent out engineering samples, and Thomas got a handful of them and was spreading them for all the Eurorack people. So I started playing around with the footprint of those keys and making sure that we could actually mechanically mount them in things. For the people that are into trackers, I also made a mechanical tracker controller. These keys are actually just the QWERTY keys but remapped to black and white, and these are all the usual function keys but with the correct labeling. This is just experimenting with the physical strength, shape, positioning of these kind of keys, so that we can use them in future devices where, well, if we ever make a drum sequencer, then we will definitely want keys like this, but with the velocity sensitive readout we can make magic happen.
Yeah, Mark Fern says I got sucked into that when I was looking for a mechanical keyboard for my Mac. There's a whole forum dedicated to the topic. Oh, there's more than just a forum.
Yes.
There's lots.
Yeah, have you found the Etsy things yet? Where they sell the individual keys for 50 euros. The one keycap for 50 euros. But then it's transparent and has tiny fish swimming around in it, and they look amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I think Roland is recognizing the Buzz keyboard in your...
yes, it has the machine view, pattern view, and sequencer view buttons, even hand painted by me.
Patrick is offering to build one, I think the Westlicht he means, and stream the entire process.
Oh, cool. That'll be nice.
That could be a good thing that we need to do, or he needs to do.
Yeah, and
send him the stuff.
I have SMD soldered boards already. They just need to have the buttons themselves soldered on. But yeah, as I said, the last firmware bug needs to be eliminated, otherwise it's a big pointless.
Well, it's going to take a while to get there. Should we be in touch and ship him what he needs, or does he need to get it himself?
Though I have a bunch of spares, so we can definitely throw one over.
Yeah.
We don't have spare keys and keycaps, however. You'll have to source those somewhere else. I'm all out. This burned through my supply, which is also why these are not on here, because I'm just out of keys.
But we are also out of time.
Yeah, we're also out of time.
We're out of. Let me just stick in here. No, that's not correct. Hang on. Because we are going to leave you and then
kind of doing stuff with
going over to this man.
Yes, new streams to visit.
Let me link that in here. Looking forward to what you could create with tracker music. It's coming into fashion, you know. Tracker music. But it
Again,
never left
yeah.
again.
For those who don't know, I got my teeth on Fast Tracker and then discovered Jascola Buzz back somewhere halfway 90s. And I've never left it. All my prototyping is still done in Jascola Buzz and all my music production is still done in Jascola Buzz. So I'm not leaving trackers until somebody physically makes me incapable of using trackers or something. Cold
Okay.
dead fingers.
That's
But yeah.
it.
Yes, so thanks everybody for hanging out with us. Anything to add, Chris?
No, I
That's
just,
it?
just
You want to
wave
say bye?
Sitting
So,
in
oh,
my
yes.
lap, and then wave.
Yeah, wave
Swish,
there.
wave at everybody.
Bye! And...
I don't know. Where do we